Where's my soda? Do, 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 do. Soda. Obama. Soda. Do, 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 do. That meme is... I remember seeing it a long time ago. But now with Twitter videos getting a change, I've been seeing it again everywhere. God, it's so good. Soda! We are actually talking about Undertale tonight, so that is relevant. Ugh, clamblets. Ugh. Alright, let's just jump right into it. We'll go waste all of our money later. I'm looking around real quick. Yeah, we'll go waste all of our money later. Big spiel. Speaking of wasting all of our money, there's a guy on TikTok who has who made a Spheal tier list where they ranked Pokemon on whether they are Spheal, are kinda Spheal, not Spheal at all, or just Pokemon like they straight up hate. And yeah, the second that big Spheal plush was announced, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. He was the first person I thought of, and sure enough, I think he actually got one this week. Yeah, I think I saw that. Yeah, I just remember the Spheal tier list. Don't remember anyone who's in, besides for Spheal being in Spheal. I literally don't remember a single other one. So I'm still using the stupid squeezer. Honestly, I'm not great with it. Holy crap, look at that opposing team. Honestly, I'm not great with the weapon, but, you know, I'm trying. You try one day at a time. Holy crap, though. I know Splashomatic is big, right? The one that there are 3 of? Or is that Splisho? I can't remember which one is which. I know there's Splashomatic and Splishomatic. I know that weapon's big. But, like, any actual details about it? Yeah, you got me there. But God, 3 of them? I mean, we have 2 on our own team, but... like, holy shit, man. And I should be using the Fling Zoroark. But I'll switch over to the Flings once I at least want to get a coupon out of the squeezer first, which I have not been lucky enough to do. Oh my god, they all have Crab Tank. They all have Crab Tank. Yeah, no shit, we got wiped out. You see how many Crab Tanks are here? Oh, God, you're... I couldn't... He was right in front of my fucking face and I couldn't kill him. Yeah, Squeezer is probably not a great weapon for this. I should just switch over. I should honestly just switch over to the Flingza now. Either that or we do some Clam Blitz. Yeah, Clam Blitz. Everyone's favorite mode. Oh, at least I got AK. Oh yeah, I'm doing terrible with the freaking Flingza. Or with the freaking Squeezer. We'll switch over to the Flingza. It's honestly not that big of a deal. But I do at least want to level up this weapon to 1. God. Yeah, I should switch over to the Flingza. That'd be smart. Of course we lost. I mean, maybe if I had actually killed somebody in the middle, we might have done better, but that didn't happen. Oh yeah, and I bought a bunch of brand new gear, so I'm using all that junk. Okay, let's try out the Flingza. Because I think I did buy it, and I know people really like it. So it must be better. God, I hope it's better. Alright. So, you know, we're just going to actually just jump right into the news today. You know, I don't know. I don't want today's show to be 4 hours. It's going to be. Don't want it to be, though. So, our first story, we're actually going to talk about Dream's face reveal. So, Dream's face reveal finally happened. And, of course, there was a lot of, like, build-up to this. Like, there was this whole, like, campaign where Dream called a bunch of other YouTubers and streamers. And they were like, oh my gosh, that's what Dream actually looks like? What? Right, and there was this big hype campaign. And then, right, we finally saw what Dream looked like. And yeah, he's just a guy. Honestly, the fallout of Dream's face reveal is all the proof you need to know why he never did one. Right? Why it took so long for this to actually happen. Because the internet is just full of unlikable cunts. And of course, their first reaction, right, was just a fucking lay into him. A perfectly average looking guy. Right? I was going to try to destroy that thing, but I ran out. Yeah, he's just a perfectly average-looking guy, and the internet just fucking laid into him. It was bad. And yeah, it completely justifies, like, why he never did a face reveal up to this point. Because, of course, the internet was just a bunch of assholes to him. Right? Why, right? Like, and I know part of it is, like, oh, if he had just, right, showed his face from the beginning, then, right, he would never have to have worried about that, right? People would have been an asshole regardless. Face reveals kind of don't mean much if you've just always shown your face, right? I mean, people would have still been an asshole regardless, but it wouldn't have been, like, the amount of pushback I saw. Right? Like, I've been around the block long enough to see a bunch of other people's face reveals. I know the internet is filled with cunts, so no matter what would have happened... Oh my god, I ran out of ink again! Yeah, no matter what, he would have gotten pushback. Like, I remember when RT Game did his face reveal, and right, I remember the pushback from that. But, you know, there were a lot of good things that came out of RT Games as well. Not everybody's a cunt, just most of them. Yeah, the internet is a godless hellscape. But what else is new? I mean, you know, they say don't feed the trolls, but clearly that doesn't work. Right? That doesn't work. Your best bet is to deplatform the trolls. That works better. But you kind of can't do that on YouTube, because YouTube, right, the rate of creating a new account to finding Nazi propaganda on YouTube, I want to say it happens in like 10 clicks. And that's not even like the record. That's the average. From new account to finding Nazi propaganda takes, 10 clicks. At least, again, it's been a while. There's been studies done about this. Yeah, of course, the internet's a hellscape. But yeah, no, I think, you know, he looks fine, you know. People were just laying into him. But all it does is prove his point, right? It just... I don't know. But of course, he's starting his own, right? Like other big YouTubers, like fucking. Oh God, what was it called? Hollywood and Vine? Was that Logan Paul's original thing? Right, like stuff like that. You know, I think he's starting his own hype house, whatever you want to call it. That's him, Sapnap, and George. Just right, they're all in a recording space. They're going to be doing some live action stuff. They're going to be doing some other stuff. So yeah, you know, they're doing that IRL manhunt, I guess. Finally, you know, it's a. Again, I don't hate Dream. I really don't. Has he fucked up? Does he have some problems? God, yes. But no, it takes so much energy to hate people, man. I don't have that kind. I don't have that kind of energy or that amount of time. Especially on someone like Dream, man. Again, I don't have the kind of time to hate on someone like Dream when actual fucking Nazis exist and just have free reign on the platform to do whatever they want. So yeah, that's that. Next up, so the Minecon Earth or Minecon Live or whatever the fuck it's called nowadays is coming up. It is next. I want to say it's Saturday. I could be wrong about that. We're finally going to learn if we're getting a new dimension. Maybe. You know, anything's possible. But yeah, we're finally going to learn that. Yeah, I don't actually have any predictions for mine. Right, I feel like whereas like last Minecon, we knew exactly what was getting announced. This time, I legitimately have no idea. Literally anything is possible. So with anything being possible, well, I guess that means everything is possible. So yeah, yeah, I don't know what to expect, actually. Like, I think, are we gonna find out, about pottery? Right? Is pottery being brought back? That's possible. Archaeology. That's one option. What else? What else is possible? I think I mean, I could see it, but also, honestly, if they scrapped all of archaeology, I wouldn't be surprised either. I can't think of anything else they've, like, showed off recently. That, like, outside of, like, everything that were there, like, the birch forest or the fireflies. Stuff that was just completely cut from the game. I can't think of anything, like, vague that has been cut, you know? Or that, like, they've not talked about in a while. Other than, well, archaeology. Honestly, that's kind of it. That's the only one I can think of that, like, they just straight up haven't talked about in a while. Oh my god. I mean, I think we're fine, but yeah. But so the mob vote's coming up. So they announced the 3 mobs. And like I said the other day, I do not like any of them, if I'm just being completely honest. It's the Sniffer, the Rascal, and the Tough Golem. And honestly, I don't like any of them. They're all kind of boring to me. So the Sniffer is like this ancient mob that spawns out of, like, so you'll be able to find these eggs in the ocean. Potentially, it looks like you'll be able to bring them up to land. And out of them will hatch the Sniffer that's able to dig up ancient seeds. But on top of that, it looks like there's 2 versions of, like, right, because the egg, the one that hatches from the egg, is a baby, and it looks like the adult Sniffer is like a giant, right? Like, there's this giant adult Sniffer. So honestly, I think the Sniffer is the most interesting, just because of that aspect. The idea of, like, this giant mob does seem like a lot of... Right, I like that idea. That sounds like a fun idea. Giant sniffer? Sure. Right? Like, there are, like... Besides for, like, bosses, the only real, like, big mob is, like, the panda. I mean, the polar bear, I guess, but... And honestly, how often do you even interact with pandas and polar bears? How often are you going to interact with this thing, to be fair, though? I don't know. And, you know, the ancient seeds are just going to be decorative stuff. But who knows? It might be cute. It might look nice. Then you have the rascal. So the rascal, you play hide and seek with it. And if you're able to find it 3 times, it'll give you a reward. Now, in the trailer, it gives you an enchanted iron pickaxe. Honestly, if they make it a really good reward... AKA, like, as a bunch of people have said, End City loot. You know, an enchanted diamond pickaxe, enchanted diamond gear, straight up diamonds, right? If they made it really good loot, I'd actually be all on board for this. Right? Really good loot can do a lot. But if it's just iron stuff, like I think in the other trailer, it's an enchanted iron shovel... If it's just iron stuff, then it's not worth it. But diamond is where it's at. So that's gonna be... Again, Mojang really doesn't want to break their game. Even though a lot of the changes they've suggested, I legitimately don't think will break their game. Like, legitimately... I feel like a lot of Mojang's suggested changes are like things that Mojang doesn't want to do. Actually have very little impact on the game, and they're just being obstinate. See the inventory problem? Like, they could solve the inventory problem by just making it by just adding a way for you to expand your inventory. But no, that's too easy of a solution. So instead they create all these obstinate solutions like the fucking loot bags that really don't actually address the core problem. Right, the loot bag, those loot bags, that actually might be something we might see. Honestly, I actually kind of hope they either announce that they're getting rid of the loot bags, and then just announce that, yeah, they are fully expanding the inventory. That would earn them a lot of... Honestly, that would be good. Because I'll talk about goodwill in a second. But, let's talk about the last mob, the Tough Golem. So, the Tough Golem... It's a golem that's presumably made out of tuff, and it's basically a statue that holds stuff. You know, it's fucking Swordman from Mega Man game I don't remember. I want to say Swordman is Mega Man 7? It's maybe 9. It's one of the later. It's definitely not the first 6. Right, where Swordman was created as one of the Mega Man Robot Masters, whose entire purpose is just to hold a really cool sword that Wily steals. Yeah, that's Swordman. And honestly, that seems to be what the Tough Golem does. It's a golem that can move around, pick up stuff, and then just holds it. Which, you know, I know people are like, oh, it's just a glorified, item frame. And yeah, that's technically true, but the Allay was a glorified hopper, and I don't really like the Allay, especially because they keep running away from me. But, I don't... The Tough Golem is, honestly, if I had to guess the rankings, it's gonna be, Sniffer's gonna win, Tough Golem's gonna be in second, and Rascal's going to be in third. That's just my plain old guess. And I think that... See, and what... I do want that. Like, what the Tough Golem does, I do want in the game. I want them to make a display case that you can, like, put items in, and it, like, displays them in 3D space, and then maybe you can power it with redstone, and it rotates the item. Maybe it gives off a little bit of, like, maybe the display case uses, like, glowstone or something, or, like, glowstone dust to, like, give off some light. Right? Like, right, make like a fancy display case to display your items in Minecraft, instead of just putting them in frames. That would be really cool, right? Basically make it look, make it like crafting an end crystal, or I guess a beacon, actually. But instead of obsidian, you use like stone or wood or something. And instead of netherite star, you use a, what are those called? You use a, glowstone dust, right? That'd be cool. But yeah, I just wanted display case in the game. And that's one of the potential things they might have added in with archaeology. But who knows what's going on with the archaeology update. For all we know, it might straight up be cancelled. So yeah, who knows with that end. I don't know. The Tough Golem I don't think has a win. I really do think it's going to be the Sniffer. If I had to guess, I'm personally probably going to vote for the Tough Golem. But it's probably this is me fucking voting third party here. Honestly, the best solution here is just to fucking add in all. Again, this has been the problem with the mob vote from the beginning, and my solution will always be they should add in all of them. Just the mob vote picks which one gets added this update, and the fans get right, and the others get added in the next update. Because how hard is it really to add new mobs to Minecraft? And if it is, hire somebody who's really good at adding mobs into Minecraft. The fact that modders can get this shit done. Like, there are already probably working mods of all 3 of these mobs. Is all the proof I need to know that, yeah, people can get this shit done. Just hire somebody. It's not like you're struggling for money, Mojang. You're only the best-selling game of all time. Right? Like, that hasn't changed. It's fucking... Yeah, so, with the actual Minecraft Live, the thing, right, so I'm going to say Sniffer's going to win. But what I actually want from Minecraft Live is that even though the most recent Minecraft update that added in the Ancient City was a very good update, and I really enjoyed the Ancient City, Mojang has burned a lot of goodwill. People do not like Mojang right now. They're not Activision Blizzard levels of unpopular, but they definitely are not, right? Even though the most recent updates have been very good. They're just, right, they've burned a lot of goodwill. And, you know, now would be a good time to, I don't know, maybe try to fix some of that. I don't know. Part of me doesn't even know how you began to do that. Because the most recent updates have all been very good. Right? People really had been wanting another update. And we got another update. Do the Soul Sand Valleys fucking suck? Absolutely. But the rest of it was pretty decent. I love the new wood types. The Caves and Cliffs update. People have been wanting a cave update for years now. And while at first I was right, the new caves were very scary to explore. Now that we've actually had them for a while, no, I think they're beautiful and they're very fun to explore and very interesting. So yeah, no, I like the Caves and Cliffs update. Part 1, mostly Part 2. Part 1 was just a build-up. But again, I'm all aboard promoting a healthy workplace. If Mojang decides that, oh, in order to do this, they need to split the update in 2 in order to stop crunching their employees, I'm perfectly fine with that. Of course, I also say hire more employees, but that's just me. You're only the highest grossing video game studio of all time, who has tons of fan talent who would be happy to work for you. I know moving out to Sweden's a hard thing, but you know what I mean. What else? And then the Ancient Cities. The Ancient City update was super controversial for a myriad of reasons. But the actual ancient cities were super fun to explore. I did one on stream a while ago. It was very interesting. It was very stressful. Right? I actually think it's a genuinely great addition to the game. The new ancient cities. So yeah, oh, they were right. I thought there was just the one behind me. Yeah, no, I really like the ancient cities. So, of course, when it comes to the next update, there's obviously the portal frame in the ancient city. So it would make sense to do that. Right? And I do think that's where they're going to go with it. But really, I do think they also, another piece of goodwill, something that fans really have wanted, is a fix to the inventory problem. Especially if you're adding in a new dimension with who knows how much new stuff in it. Right? We're gonna want bigger inventories. So having an inventory fit, right, fixing the inventory problem would be very helpful. Now, of course, Mojang's solution so far has been the bag. The bag doesn't work. You want to know how to fix the inventory problem? Just expand the inventory. Give players a way. Don't even make it that hard to do. Honestly, it shouldn't even be that hard to do. Just give players a way to expand the inventory. Right? Because a lot of other games, like Stardew Valley, I want to say has a... Right, Minecraft's inventory is... Minecraft has an inventory of 9. I think it's a 4x9 inventory, which is 4x9 is 30. It's not 36. It's more than that, right? Is it 42? No, that's not right either. I want to say it's 30. I want to say it's 36. Just give us a way to add another row to that. Give a way to expand that, right? Maybe, right, Minecraft's inventory uses 1 through 9. Maybe add in 0, 1, and plus or minus or whatever. I don't think any other buttons on the keyboard use those. Yeah, just add it. That's what Stardew Valley does. Stardew Valley adds in those three things, and it works perfectly fine. I know Stardew Valley can also get very tight on inventory as well, but yeah. No, there are plenty of fixes to the inventory problem, other than adding a sack that doesn't really do much. I don't know. I expect them to continue to be obstinate. You know, I don't think, like, if people are willing to forgive Cyberpunk 2077 because of the anime, I know people are going to be willing to forgive Mojang for this eventually. Right? Because what Cyberpunk did is 1,000 times worse than anything Mojang has done. And they've been able to earn back all their goodwill. So if they can, Mojang can as well. It's just, it's not easy, clearly. Because, yeah, people now try... Because after the Cyberpunk anime, people have started playing 2077 again, and they've been really enjoying it. So, clearly... And, right, there were some people who said they were never going to trust CD Projekt Red ever again. And I'm sure some of those people stuck to it, but I can guarantee you a bunch of them didn't. So, yeah. Ooh. It's... Yeah, I totally think they can turn it around. Other than that, at Minecraft Live, I do expect us to see that, oh, whatever the fuck that game was called, Unite the Overworld. That game that looks like that kind of reminded me of Dragon Quest Builders, but I know isn't Dragon Quest Builders. It'd be cool to see some more of that, or I expect to see some more of that. I don't know, I think Minecraft Dragon Quest Builders, Minecraft 2 if you would be fun, but I honestly don't. I don't think the game plays like that. I think it's more of like a RTS sort of game, if I'm correct. So, I don't know. We'll see whatever that turns out to be. But yeah, I don't think they're gonna announce a new game. They've got that Unite the Overworld or whatever the fuck it's called. That's probably gonna be their main focus for the moment. Because that's next year, right? I think that's 2023, so we'll get it eventually. Anything else? I'm trying to think of anything else. Nothing comes to mind. But I'm sure more stuff, right? I don't know. I think, right, they've got to earn back some of that goodwill. And, right, fixing the inventory, adding this new dimension. I don't know if it'll fix all their problems, but it'll help. And honestly, as long as, like, and they can also split the new dimension into 2 updates, right? Depending on what this thing is. I think if you do a big, right, if you do 2 updates and make the first one heavy enough, then yeah, people would be more, like, if the first one introduced the new dimension, introduced some of the new stuff in it, and then the second part just added, like, structures to the new dimension and whatnot, depending on what it is, again, I legitimately think people would be fine with that. Again, I'm all aboard for more healthy workplaces. I've said it before, I said it with Rockstar, working on GTA 6, right? If they're going to make if they're taking their time on this game to give a more healthy work environment, then I fully support it. But yeah, so full thing, mob vote, I expect the Sniffer to win. Right? I do think that they should maybe stop doing the mob vote, because all it does is divide the community, and I really don't like any of these mobs. I'd much rather have the Iceologer or the Copper Golem from years past. But, yeah. Or even just doing a redo mob vote that brings back a bunch of the fan favorites from previous years. Even though, again, everything's a disappointment. Right? Like, the mob vote was ruined the moment people decided they didn't like the Phantom. I still think the Phantom was a good idea. I don't hate it as much as other people do. But the second people decided they didn't like the Phantom, the mob vote was screwed from then on out. It was never going to recover from that. Let's be real here. Alright, so next up, we got a new Pokemon trailer. We got a trailer for the new Pokemon game. And this one was... I in my notes, I've described it as an overview trailer. Technically, I don't think they've labeled it as an overview trailer, but it feels like an overview trailer to me. Because basically, they took the trailer from last month and just went into more detail about it. Right? The 3 different areas of the game. They went into some more detail on how the 3 areas work. Oh, you want to know about the Titan Pokemon? Well, here's some more information about that. Oh, do you want to know more about oh gosh, what else is there? Do you want to know more about the, Star Street stuff with, Melee, but you don't want to know, but we're still not going to reveal the fucking, engine Pokemon that, according to some of the leaks, might not even be a real Pokemon? Like, no, seriously, from listening to the leaks, it might not even be a Pokemon in the Dex. Like, it's a Pokemon, but it's like a man-made Pokemon, kind of like Mewtwo. But for some reason, it isn't in the Pokedex, even though it's a 2-stage evolution Pokemon. So honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if it's like Type Null, where you only get it in the post-game, but it not being in the Pokedex is kind of weird. I don't know, the leaks, there's been some fucking leaks this week. And we're gonna talk about some of them. Some of them. Some of them come from the trailer, kind of. But yeah, so we got that, we got the star stuff, we got the gym leader, right? You go to the gym, you do the gym challenge. They confirmed that, right, stuff like the surprise trades are presumably back. Basically, how trading in online worked in Sword and Shield, it's gonna work the exact same way in this game. So, right, like, all, like, the battle... I just hope they fix the refresh card rate thing in Sword and Shield, right, where you couldn't just refresh the cards to see what other people are doing, and said you had to, like, do something special. That was a fucking mess. And you had to, like, trick it out with surprise trades. I mean, sure, were you able to work the system, and that's how I have 2 shiny Snoms? Yes. But it still doesn't change the fact that it's a mess. Of course there was someone right there. So yeah, it's, you know, this was mostly an overview trailer. New Pokemon-wise, even though this was a 14-minute trailer, they only intentionally showed off a single new Pokemon. That being Farigiraf, who is the evolution of Girafarig. Now, this one actually did, like, we knew exactly what this thing looked like, and we've known what it looks like for a while now. Because, surprise, surprise, this was another Pokemon that did leak. Right? And, like, straight up, just like a full picture of its Pokedex entry leaked. Not a full picture, maybe, but, like, a slight picture. So we've known what this thing looked like for a while now. And yeah, we find out, right, it evolve. You see it evolve. And I actually, design-wise, I think it's actually pretty good. It takes the Girafarig tail and puts the tail on the head. So it's now like wearing one of those like character beanies. That's the only way I can think to describe it. Right? It's basically got like a beanie on, like a, are they called character beanies? Character sweaters. You know, where you can like pull up the thing and it's got like cat ears on it. It's like that basically. But you know, it's a slightly bigger giraffe Pokemon. I think it's actually a fine design. For a giraffe Pokemon, especially because I don't really like Girafarig, Farigiraf seems fine. I do not remember what type it is. I don't know if it keeps Girafarig's type or if it gains a new one. I don't even remember. Is Girafarig Psychic Dark or is it just straight up Psychic? I really do not remember. But yeah, no. And supposedly it's based on like a giraffe that used to... There's like a 3... It's like a 3 or 4, like, horned giraffe or something like that. Like, it does have a real-world equivalent. It's an extinct animal, obviously. But supposedly it has some sort of, like, real-world equivalent. Which I think is neat. I can take more appreciation. Especially, like, in newer games. The Pokemon Company, I really do say since Gen 7. Technically, it starts in Gen 8. But really, since Gen 7... The Pokemon Company has put a lot of effort into making new Pokemon based on the where they influence from the region. Gen 7 had a lot of Pokemon based on Hawaii and whatnot. Gen 8 had a lot of Pokemon based on Britain. Right? And usually, like, Gen 7 technically does that with this. Gen 6 does that sometimes. You have Pokemon like Aromatisse and the starters who are based on different aspects of French culture and whatnot. There's a few other ones I'm obviously forgetting. But really, it starts in Gen 7. So yeah, I am impressed with... I think it's a good-looking Pokemon. There are some other Pokemon, but we'll talk about those in a second. The other thing I want to talk about is picnics. So, right, they're bringing back, instead of having the camping sites, you instead have picnic sites, and the system of the picnic seems to work exactly like how it did in Gen 8. Right? The picnic seems to work just like the campfires. You can go to the camping spots, you can hang out with your Pokemon, and you can play like with a ball and whatnot. They even, like, animation-wise, it even looks very similar. So I'm assuming that hasn't changed much. However, there are two big changes, kind of. One is that instead of making a curry, which was the Gen 8 thing, you instead make sandwiches. Which I love that the sandwiches use like ham and whatnot. Ham, presumably turkey, right? All that shit. You're making lechonk sandwiches. Yeah. Honestly, I like that's fun. Making sandwiches with your Pokemon, that sounds like a fun idea. I like that. So I'm all aboard for sandwiches. But yeah, honestly, as long as... Because the big thing that people... And this is not true. But what people think is that, oh, every moment Pokemon spends making these campsites and these picnics is one less minute they spend adding on to, like, new Pokemon. Right? Either adding new Pokemon or bringing back old Pokemon. But the fact that this hasn't really changed much, right? The fact that this looks exactly like how it did in the previous game does make me think that, you know, maybe they didn't actually spend that much time on this. Right? Maybe they just straight up imported it from the old game and made the new Pokemon models. It's totally possible. I mean, it's definitely not guaranteed, but it's possible. But yeah, the other thing about the picnics is that there is no more daycare in the game. Supposedly, there is no more daycare in the game, and instead you get eggs by bringing your Pokemon to the picnic. So if you bring your Pokemon to the picnic, they will then create the eggs. Which does lead a whole host of questions like, well, if I can own... Right, because in the Gen 8, you can have 2 Pokemon in the daycare, and then just have like a Centiskorch or a Talonflame that has Warm Body to, you know, grind eggs, right? And then boom, that makes egg hatching faster, right? And then you can get 5 eggs at a time. If they're changing this up, does it still work like that? Or can I only harvest 3 eggs at a time? What's the limit? How does this change things? Right? That's a big question. And you know what? Fair. That's something I am thinking of myself, right? Because I've bred a few competitive. I've bred a few shinies. It is a good question to think about. But yeah, we obviously don't know all those details at the moment. But it is definitely something. So yeah, I'm fine with the picnic stuff. You know what? Honestly, I will barely use it. Unless, again, except for the egg stuff. The egg stuff's kind of a big deal. But other than that, I probably won't use it. Because I never really used the Pokemon Campfire. I never really used the Pokemon and Me stuff either. It's just kind of stuff that was there in the game, you know? Some people find it cute, but it's cute for like 5 minutes and then you move on to the next thing. Let's be real here. We know how this all works. It's cute for 5 seconds and then you move on to the next thing. So another thing they talked about when talking about the Star Street stuff is auto battling. So I am still hesitant about how much this game plays like Legends Arceus and how much it plays like Sword and Shield. Because watching gameplay, sometimes it feels like Pokemon Sword and Shield. Other times it feels like Legends Arceus. And the more it feels like Sword and Shield, the worse the game is. Legends Arceus was the future of Pokemon. Taking the open world from Legends Arceus and getting rid of everything else from that game will not make a good game, right? If the game just has the open world of Legends Arceus, but everything else is from Sword and Shield, this game's going to be a failure. I mean, it'll sell fucking amazing, but gameplay-wise, no. Legends Arceus is the future. You can't just take the open world and leave the gameplay. I'm not going to say it's an all or nothing deal, because Legends Arceus has its own problems, but Sword and Shield has way more, and taking the gameplay from Sword and Shield is a terrible idea. But one of the things that, you know, seems to at least be for the better is that it seems at least that they're doing this auto battling thing. So you can send your Pokemon off, especially during the Star Street. Because in these Star Streets, you're fighting like 50 trainers. But you can auto battle. And right, your Pokemon will just automatically battle for you and take care of these potential 50 trainers. I think in the trailer it was actually 30. But still, it's a lot of trainers is what I'm saying. Right? It's a lot of people to take care of. So potentially, right, having us write this auto battling feature. Well, of course, people are like, oh, when your Pokemon auto battles a shiny, right? Like that's something I would love to see. That hope that they like thought ahead on, but knowing the Pokemon Company, anything's possible, right? Like imagine if you're auto battling a shiny, and your Pokemon just like stops, and you'll get a notification like, hey, your Pokemon encountered something strange, and it'll be like a shiny. That would be really neat, but. I don't know. It's definitely one of those things where I'm like, okay, this is what they're doing, clearly. How interesting. How interesting indeed. But yeah, I think, honestly, auto-battling is for the best. We have been on... I think we have lost, like, the last, like, 20 games in a row. Dog God. So, we're going to talk about some of the stuff that was hidden in the trailer. So, I'm going to actually back out of it real quick. We have been losing so much today, yeah. Ugh. Now, let's stop. Let me come over here real quick. So they did a thing where... Oh, yeah, we've got all of this. Okay, I completely forgot about all this stuff from the story mode. Oh, we've got all those. This gift from Splatnet. They did a thing where... So in the previous Splatoon, you could go to the news channel and get free stuff. On Twitter, they put up a QR code. And you could scan the QR code in the Splatoon app. And they gave you this little logo. So yeah, if you want that, just go to the Splatoon app. And go to check the Splatoon Twitter on a different app. I think you can actually take like a screenshot of it. And you can scan from a screenshot. So they did think ahead about that, but yeah. That's also while we're right here, play the gotcha machine. Oh, we got little Plastic Man. I guess somebody found a way to get, like, infinite gotcha machines or something. Supposedly. Supposedly someone found a way to get infinite gotcha machines. I don't know how they did it, but supposedly that was a thing. Oh, I haven't seen... I don't remember seeing these Pearl and Marina stickers anywhere. Those are neat. What's... Okay, that was way more normal than I was expecting. Same there. Way more normal than I was expecting. So, alright, let's take a load off right here. Let's take a load off and let's talk about the Pokemon leaks. So let me pull them up. So it started with these. So in the trailer... Let me move my mic over real quick. In the trailer, there were these images. Right in the bottom corner, you saw these 3 Pokemon. There's these 2 little mice. There's a Rookidee, obviously. There's a bird thing. And there's this little cube. Right, this little rock cube thing. So this was in the... I think this was when they were talking about auto-battling. These little things were in the corner. Okay, so that was hidden in there. There's also this other one where when they're talking about a photo mode, because there's a photo mode in this game. Honestly, the photo mode looks better. I did not like Legends Arceus' photo mode. This looks better. But there's this thing in the background. Some people are like, oh, what is this? According to the leaks, there's a Pokemon called Coin. And supposedly this is it. Right? That little, like you can see that little yellow spot on its back. That's the Coin. And it's got, like, these dowsing rod antennas or something. And it works like Spiritomb or the Zygarde cells, where there's, like, a bunch of them. And if you can catch them, like, they'll all become, like, another Pokemon. Like, yeah, I don't know. Supposedly that's what this is, right? So that was what those were. I haven't honestly seen any fan art of this, just because we really do not have a good view of it. But yeah, the main 3 are these 3. So, let's see, which one do I have up first? The Mouse Couple. So this is an art by Nissy Nish. So this is what the little mouse couple looks like. It has been confirmed, and honestly, I had seen this in the leaks. I've seen a lot of the leaks, I should say. I've seen a lot of the leaks. And so one of the Pokemon talked about in the leaks was a mouse couple that, spoiler alert, evolves into a mouse family. So we see the mouse couple here. This is, of course, fan art of what they look like. Honestly, I think they are cute. As you know, I have been very negative on Pokemon this generation. I think this is cute. I like this mouse couple. You know what? I like the mouse couple. So yeah, I don't know if I'll actually use these, but I think they are very cute designs. They evolve into a mouse family, so yeah. Next up, let's talk about the Rock Salt. So this art in the next art comes from Mad Zygarde Core. who did the art for this one and the next one, the bird. So, rock salt. Now, in the leaks, this was described as a rock salt Pokemon that looks like Minecraft. It's been described as Minecraft-like. So, yeah, seeing it honestly, this looks like if you were to describe a rock mushroom from Mario, you would kind of get something like this. Honestly, I really hope it keeps the square blocky design. Like, I picture, like, a big sort of salt iron golem as its third, because this is going to be a 3-stage. So I picture, like, a big salt rock golem thing. Because they fucked up Roly-Poly. Roly-Poly was such a good design for a Pokemon that had so much potential to become, like, a motorcycle or something like that. And no, it becomes fucking Colossus. An utter piece of shit. I don't want them to fuck this up. I think this little rock thing, this little rock salt mushroom thing, is really cute. I really hope they keep this whole blocky Minecraft-ish design. And I really hope it turns out really cool. They're gonna fuck this up somehow. I can guarantee they're gonna fuck this up. But so far, this first stage, I do like. And then, yeah, like I said, this is a 3-stage. And then finally, we have this bird. This is actually based on a real bird from Spain. Same artist who drew this one. The Mad Zygarde Corps. Same artist. It's a 1-stage evolution. It's basically this game's Chatot. It looks okay. Honestly, I don't really like Chatot that much. So this thing, right, I have the same sort of feeling about it. You know, it's kind of whatever. But yeah, it's just a 1-stage evolution. You know, it looks whatever. It's a bird. Of the 3, yeah, I like this one. I like this one. Honestly, they should have revealed some of these. They didn't. I don't think they had to reveal all 3. It would have been fine if they did. But they should have definitely revealed this one at least. This rock salt. I don't know. You know, they've been very conservative with how they reveal Pokemon this generation. I kind of don't expect that to change. You know, we're in it so far. That's kind of fine. I mean, it's less than 60 days. I want to say it's like 40-something until the game comes out. So, yeah. Give me one quick second. I'm going to go back to gameplay real quick. Let me see. Can I find... So, there were other stuff that leaked as well. Let's see. Did anyone else... We have Rock Salt Mushroom. Oh, look, Mad Zygarde did do of the coin. I'm gonna keep calling it coin. This little, the little antenna wheelu thingy. That's actually, again, I have no idea if it looks like this at all. But I actually think this is kind of cute. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of, Chinchou? Chinchou is its name, right? No, I actually think that's kind of cute. I actually really do like this design. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Who knows what it's actually going to look like. Let me see. There's some fan-made salt Pokemon. There's Mouse. So I guess we got another view of, like, the engine's pre-evolution. And it kind of looks like this, maybe-ish. I don't know, there's actual video in the trailer where you get a better view of it. Honestly, it doesn't look exactly like this, but it's kind of like this. It's got wheels on it, and it might also be part of the bigger engine. Honestly, it would be really interesting if the engine Pokemon was actually like this really big thing made up of 5 smaller engine pieces. Kind of like I think it's the Transformer's name is Devastator. Right, it's right, 5 smaller Transformers turn into a giant one. That would actually be very cool for them to do on a Pokemon. Yeah, let's see. There's one other Pokemon that was hidden in the back of the trailer. Did anyone talk about it? I'm looking through art right now. Okay, I don't think I'm going to find anything from these all. Let's go back to... I'm sure Wolfie talked about it at some point. Let me go back through his tweets, see if I can find it. Oh, the multiplayer map's updated. Okay. Because I know Armarouge's pre-evolution got leaked. Let's see. Let me check the multiplayer maps real quick. Current battle stages. Okay, Undertow and Hammer. Ugh, God, I hate Hammer. Rainmaker's in series, and Splat Zones is in open. Okay. I'm seeing if I can find it. I know people have done fan art of it. Give me a second. Here it is. Oh, it's, Nishnash did it. Oh, I didn't. Okay. I was like, I know I'd find somebody who did art of this thing. So, in the background of the trailer, there's a shot of the, baby Armarouge / Cerulege. Right? You can see what the screen, this is what it looks like in the trailer, and this is what it actually looks like. So, yeah. Or this is like a artwork, right, by the same artist who did the little mice. So, yeah. So, we now know what Baby Armarouge or Cerulege looks like. And, depending on which game you have, it's going to evolve into each one. So, that's interesting. But, yeah, so those were all 5 Pokemon that were just in the trailer. That were just in the background, but we didn't actually see any of. So, yeah. Yeah, check out both of the artists, right? Nissi Nash and Mad Zygarde Cell, or Shining Light Moon. Right, they also go by that. So yeah, check them both out. Right, they've done some good art right there. Yeah, of course. But yeah, I wanted to check out both of those. But yeah, there was also a picture of the armor, or of the freaking, what's it called? The car. There was like another image of the car, but I didn't see it anywheres. So yeah. But honestly, like most of those, honestly, I've liked more of those Pokemon that they didn't even officially reveal than I have of the stuff they actually have. I've been very negative this generation, as I've said. I want that Rock Salt to be cool. I think the Rock Salt's kind of cute. I hope Rock Salt, right? It's very fun. We don't have official names for any of these things either. We have guessings on most of their typings. But I want Minecraft Salt to become something cool. And I want it to keep that blocky aesthetic. God, I don't want them to roly-poly it. I just wanted a diamond motorcycle. That would have been so cool for Roly-Poly's evolution. But nope, what did we get instead? We got fucking Colossus. A fucking piece of shit that, to be fair, I did use. I used it in my playthrough of, Sword and Shield earlier this year. But I still fucking... Ugh. So the other thing that did leak... So those were all from the trailer, right? Those are all fan arts based on stuff we saw in the trailer. And some of those, like, the shot in the Japanese trailer that shows off, right, the mice and the rock salt and everything, is not in the Japanese trailer. It's only in the American one. So it was definitely... Like, that was not something that was intentional. That was most likely an accident. Oh my god. There was a guy behind me, wasn't there? I think the ink brush was right there as well. So yeah, the other thing, this, like a few hours ago, the entire Pokédex of returning Pokemon in the new game supposedly leaked. We do not know we don't know how accurate it is, because it is just a leak, or it is a rumor. Correction, it is a rumor. And Joe Maverick would be mad at you for calling it a leak. It's a rumor. So the entire rumored Pokédex has come out. And it's... just giving some numbers. There are 100 new Pokemon. I think it's like 103. And then there are, right, there are 397 returning Pokemon. So there's going to be, again, much like Sword and Shield had 400 Pokemon, this game also has 400. Of those 400 Pokemon, of those 397, I looked at it real quick, like, I did a quick once-over of it. I definitely don't get the feeling that there, I guess with all the, with all the pre-evolutions, because the list doesn't show every Pokemon, it shows, like, lines. So, right, we know Tyranitar's in the game. So it just shows Tyranitar. It doesn't show Pupitar and Larvitar. Larvitar. Larvestar? Larvestar's Volcaronas, right? It doesn't show those two. It just shows Tyranitar. Same thing with, like, Salamence. It just shows Salamence. It does not show Bagon and Shieldon. So, yeah, I guess that technically adds up. But I did take a quick once-over at it. And I am so... I'm annoyed. My favorite Pokemon did not make it back in. My favorite Pokemon... Or one of my favorite Pokemon didn't make it into Gen 8. Was one of the few cut in Sword and Shield. And they were cut for this game as well. If this rumor is to be believed, they were cut from this new game as well. Supposedly there's going to be DLC, and, you know, DLC may add them back in, so anything's possible. But, it just breaks my heart when your favorite Pokemon doesn't get added back in. I kind of, honestly, seeing the announcement, or seeing the rumor, I was like, oh, did they get added back in? I checked, and I weren't there, and I was like, man, that fucking sucks. I guess I kind of get it now. To be fair, they weren't in Sword and Shield. But honestly, I feel more attached to them now than I did to them in Sword and Shield. So seeing them, right, not in this game, I was like, aw, man. I was really hoping to see... I want to see them in, freaking... on the big screen, man. I want to see how they look now. Because they're... So I've never actually said what my favorite Pokemon is, and I'm not going to. Just know they're not in this new game. So yeah, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed, and I kind of get it now. Right? Because it's always been, right, one of the big counter-arguments to the bring back to the National Dex problem. God, this person sucks. Yeah, so one of the big things one of the big, like, in favor arguments to bring back the National Dex, an argument I've always agreed with, actually, is that every Pokemon is somebody's favorite. So if you get rid of every Pokemon, right, you're getting rid of people's favorites. Because, yeah, they did someone did a survey, I think this was back during Gen 7, asking, like, 10,000 people what their favorite Pokemon was. And every Pokemon but 4 were picked. And of those 4, either a pre-evolution or an evolution, sometimes even both, got picked. What those 4 were, I honestly have no recollection. I want to say Gothita was one of them. Either Gothita or its evolution, not Gothorita. Gothorita was chosen. But either the second or third stage was one of the ones not chosen. So yeah, of all the right, that's the only one I remember. I know there were others. Again, it was all but 4. I want to say Tynamo was one of them. I could be misremembering things, but I want to say Tynamo. That sounds right in my head. Tynamo. I don't know. But, right, I actually, like, this time, right, not having them in Gen 8, I was like, you know, it's not that big of a deal. Not having them in Gen 7, or in Gen 9, though, I miss them, man. My favorite Pokemon. God, I could not hit them. I was always just a little out of range. So yeah, I'm kind of brokenhearted about that. There's always the DLC, or there's always Gen 9. Yeah, I haven't really looked over the list too much, if I'm being completely honest. I just took a cursory glance at it. I know Charizard is back. That's for sure. That most of the right of all, like, not only is Charizard back, but like Charizard's like a special exception to like them bringing back Pokemon or something. I remember reading that. And you can import Pokemon from the previous generation. Oh, hey, we got our Sheldon license. That, yeah, you can import, right, that Legends Arceus Pokemon can be brought back. Let's see, is my... Oh, but Go-Goat is back. Yeah, Go-Goat is back. Yeah, Go-Goat's one of my favorites. Go-Goat is in my top 10, like, no joke. That's cool. And, of course, I could look at the list and be like, wow, I can't believe they brought back this Pokemon, but not my favorite, who is way better. And, yeah, no, seriously, like, just taking, like, a cursory glance at it, I'm sure that's how it works. I can't believe they brought back this terrible Pokemon, but my favorite? Nope, still gone. We should move on. So, yeah, I've said enough. So the Mario Brothers movie finally got its first official trailer today, a few days ago. I did do a live reaction to it because we happened to be streaming Splatoon when it happened. Now, during that initial live reaction, I did not have the video, right? I couldn't actually show the video on stream because I didn't want to break the stream. However, I went back in editing, and I cut out the clip of me watching the trailer, or watching the direct, and I added back in the video. So if you want to go watch that stream, you can go watch it, and with the direct in place. So I did go back, I did fix it. It's more or less fine. Like, I honestly, there was like a second delay that no matter what I did, I couldn't fix. And that might have just been the stream being out of sync thing. But it is all there, right? My initial reaction to it's all up. So if you want to go watch that, that is all available. Ah, my God. So yeah, that's all up on YouTube. But yeah, my thoughts, I think it looks good. Is it anything amazing? No. I think it looks good, though. Right, people have made a bunch of jokes about how, right, Nintendo has taken a more active role in development of this movie. AKA, they've been watching over Illumination's shoulders this entire time, making sure they don't fuck this up. And that might be why it got delayed, because they might have fucked this up. But no, seriously, this movie looks better than any other Illumination movie. Animation quality is some top-notch stuff here. I think Jack Black does a great voice. Honestly, a lot of people are complaining about the Mario voice, right? Chris Pratt's just his normal voice. I could give less of a shit. I am one of the few people who actually didn't want Charles Martinet to voice Mario in this movie, just because I don't think Charles Martinet, like, he does a good voice for voice clips, right? For, like, every time Mario jumps, him saying, yeah! Charles Martinet does a fantastic voice for that. But an actual speaking role in a movie, listening to Mario, the Mario voice, for 2 hours would fucking suck. I'm just gonna be honest. Of course, would I have preferred probably like an actual voice actor, or even an Italian one? I mean, Charles Martinet is French, so... But no, I have no problem with it. I don't... Right, Chris Pratt's... He's gonna do fine. It's not what we think of Mario, but it's gonna be fine. Jack Black actually does know what he's doing. So I have full faith in Jack Black. His voice sounds great. The Toad voice is definitely the one I'm gonna have to get used to. I am just so used to the high-pitched, "Hi, I'm Toad!" I cannot do a Toad voice, obviously. "Hi, I'm Toad! Mario!" I'm just so used to that it's going to take some time to get used to the new voice. But, like, other than that, I'm sure, right, Keegan-Michael Key will do fine. What else? Who else is in it? We got Charlie Day as Luigi, and you get, like, a brief, like, second of what his scream sounds like. It sounds fine, you know? It sounds fine. And then, yeah, that's it. But yeah, animation looks good. No idea who voices the penguin. No idea who voices that penguin, but they did a fine job. The person who does Kamek, I think, nails it. Do not remember who, but yeah, I think they totally nail the Kamek voice. So yeah, I think that's good. I'm looking forward to it. Honestly, I'm looking forward to the Mario Brothers movie. I said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm looking forward to it. I honestly, again, like, I think it was Gerard the Completionist put up the did the trailer, but they put Gangster's Paradise over it. That was exactly what we expected. But no, they actually made a serious trailer. Will we still get a Gangster's Paradise style trailer? Probably. Yeah, that'll probably happen eventually. But for this initial trailer, no, they seemingly took it more serious, made like an actual legitimate trailer that, you know, takes that... Again, it's a very not serious subject. But they added this level of epicness to it that I think is fine. Honestly, yeah, no, I think this looks good. I'm actually excited to see the Mario Brothers movie. So yeah, good on you, Nintendo / Illumination. I'm giving most of the credit to Nintendo here, obviously. But good on you, Nintendo. You can fucking do it. You could make an animation studio your bitch to make a good fucking movie. Mighty impressive, if I do say so. Mighty impressive. But yeah, we didn't, right, well, I'm sure we'll get more stuff out of it in due time, but for today, that's all we know. Comes out April 7th. That's a ways away, but not too long, if I'm being honest. Yeah, it comes out in a little bit, but not too far, honestly. It's one of those things where it'll be here before we even realize it. Oh my god, really? Oh my god. Yeah, I see, battery's low. Nice. What else? Anything else about the Mario movie? Not that I can think of. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. Also at New York City Comic Con, because this came out then, we also got some stuff on the Owl House. We got the first 6 minutes of the next episode. Ah, boy, am I excited. It's 1 week away. Oh, boy, am I excited. New Owl House! Ah, ha, 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 ha. God, I love that show so much. Yeah, the first 6 minutes, you know, we see... It's basically... They're doing a time skip. So spoilers, I guess, for the first 6 minutes of the next episode. It's a time skip. So we see what's been happening since they got to the human realm. And then what they've been doing from... I think the show takes place in, like, summer-ish. So we find out what's been going on from summer... Of course, we lost that. We find out what's been going on from summer to now. To, like, October-ish. Right? Like, right before Halloween. So we have been doing terrible tonight. So for the latter half of the show, I'm going to switch over to Salmon Run. Don't remember what's in the Salmon Run rotation, but we're going to switch over to it. Because I've been doing terrible. Oh my gosh. So yeah, let's get into WIBE. So what have I been enjoying? Well, so let's talk about... let's talk about Arkham Knight first. So Batman Arkham Knight... So I took, last week I talked about how, my mother had beaten Arkham City, and now it was on to Arkham Knight last week. So on Sunday, took it over and started her on Arkham City, or Arkham Knight. Started her on Arkham Knight, and it was like, oh, it's going to be much of the same. But then you get the Batmobile, and the Batmobile completely tripped her up. Because going around the city, it was like, oh, this is going to be fine. But then the Batmobile came in, and she just couldn't do it. She just couldn't do the Batmobile. And even, after a few hours even, she just couldn't fucking do it. Early on, the game has you do, a challenge with the Batmobile. They force you to do it. She couldn't do it. Honestly, because I know Batmobile was, the new gimmick of the game. Right? And they force... So, I'm just, horrified. Oh, they're gonna force her to keep using it. And that's gonna be a fucking nightmare, right? Because the game's gonna keep forcing you to use the Batmobile. So that sounds terrible. Okay, we gotta get rid of that thing. Oh my god, Whatever. So yeah, the Batmobile has just been a nightmare so far. When it comes to non-Batmobile stuff, everything's been going fine. When it comes to, actually going around, fighting bosses, everything, when it comes to traversing around the city, yeah, everything's been going fine. In fact, honestly, this game seems to be going smoother. She's doing better in combat in this game than she's been doing in the previous games. It really does feel like they've streamlined a lot of the combat. So that's rather impressive, honestly. That's kind of nice. That seemingly they have streamlined all the combat. Oh, God, I saw the small fires. So yeah, they've streamlined the combat. Moving around the city definitely seems a lot better than it does in Arkham Knight, or Arkham City, because you now have, a quicker glide, basically, where you can, double press X to glide faster, and it'll, catapult you off of buildings, and it just all around seems better. So without the Batmobile, movement seems better than it did in the previous game, but the game keeps forcing you back into the Batmobile. So that's gonna be a fucking... It's gonna be a whole fucking thing. But, and it seems like people don't like the Batmobile. I've been listening to people talk about Gotham Knights, the new game, and it seems like people do not like the Batmobile in Arkham Knight. So that seems to be, a not universal thing, but it seems to be a more common thing anyways. That the Batmobile is not popular. What else? Okay, so the one thing I will say, just because I know she'll never watch this, is, so there's the Arkham Knight, who is the villain, and she gets introduced to the Arkham Knight. I don't know why I'm whispering. She gets introduced to the Arkham Knight, right, who's, this big bad guy. And immediately, he speaks a single line. He's like, oh, we meet again, old man. And she immediately paints it as Red Hood. And, of course, I, having never played the game, but, kind of have an idea what's going on. I'm like, yeah, it's Red Hood. But I don't want her to just immediately, figure it out. Because, that was kind of when the game came out, I remember there being, a big secret about, who is the Arkham Knight. So I then spent the next, 2-ish hours just gaslighting her, being like, well, it could be the Joker, because, you know, he died, and maybe he's come back. Oh, well, it could be, Azrael. He was in the last game, because he shows up at the at least when we played it, he shows up at the very end of Arkham City. So, right, I spent 2 hours just gaslighting her, being like, oh, well, it could be this character, well, it could be that character. And then when the Joker shows up in the fear gas, I was like, shit. Right, that just makes my job so much harder. But no, I'm like 99% sure it is, fucking, Jason Todd. But, you know, I don't want her to just get it right. She got it from a single fucking sentence. And even still, I'm being kind of generous. So I didn't want her to just, you know, get all the rewards. So, but yeah, I'm pretending like I don't know. Alright, I'm pretending like I don't know. But of course I know. At least I'm like 99% sure. So yeah, that's been a lot of fun. Honestly, it's, God. I would say it keeps me young, but it has the exact opposite of that. But yeah, she immediately picked it as Jason Todd. And after we finished the session for the day, she pulled up one of the Batman movies. And was like, see, there's Jason Todd right there. Look, he even says the old man line. It's gotta be him. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, she's still early on in the game. You know, she's done a bit of the story. She beat this. Where she ended off was with Barbara Gordon's kidnapping. So that was the last thing that had happened. God, there's too many stingers. So yeah, so other than that, the game I've actually been playing, I've got 2 actual games I played. One was previously we had talked about Undertale. How I had started Undertale, and where we had left off, I had beaten Undyne. Since then, I've played some more, and I beat the game. I beat Undertale, I did the true pacifist ending, so, you know, I went on a date with Papyrus, which is still great. I went over to Undyne's house to learn how to cook, which, the Papyrus jumping out the window is still one of the funniest bits. It cracks me up every time. I went, so I dated Undyne, or I went on the cooking lesson with Undyne. I helped out Alphys and Undyne get together, and that was cute in and of itself. So I've been enjoying, I thoroughly enjoyed Undertale. I did the true ending. I still love the true ending. I stand by Hopes and Dreams is a better song than Megalovania, but that's just me. I'm the only one who thinks that. Yeah, Megalovania is overrated. Hopes and Dreams is a better song. Look at me, the fucking hipster. But yeah, so I thoroughly enjoyed the gameplay again. I still do stand... You know, the fan base of Undertale may fucking suck. And you should never, ever stream Undertale. Because the fan base, they fucking suck. And they will tell you exactly how you should play that game. Even if you're trying to do, like, let's say you're specifically trying to do a genocide run, they will tell you, no, you should do this to get the pacifist. Even if you've never, or even if you've just never played the game and you're doing a blind playthrough, they will still tell you exactly how you should play the game. Undertale fans fucking suck. They always have. Nothing has changed. You know, nothing has changed on that front. Because I know the exact same thing happened with Deltarune. Right? Deltarune fans were super toxic, and they were telling people that, oh, you should play the game exactly this way, so that way you could get the secret. Whatever the secret is. I actually don't know. I just know it hasn't, trust me, it hasn't changed. You should never stream an Undertale game, and you should never stream a, Oh, there's one other person whose games you shouldn't stream. It's not David Cage. You should never stream a... I don't know. I know there's somebody else. I clearly don't remember who they are, But trust me, there is at least one other person whose games you should never stream. Because, you know, the fan base is kind of annoying as fuck. And they have a very specific way on how you should play the game. And if you don't do it exactly how they want, they're going to be righteous assholes about it. But no, just playing it, you know, and I'm one of the lucky ones, because I did a Let's Play, but because I have 0 followers, nobody gave a shit if I played it wrong or not. Nobody gave a shit when I never finished the Genocide run. But no, Undertale is still one of the best games of all time. Still has my favorite video game soundtrack of all time. Hands down, no question about that. What else? What else? But yeah, it was all, you know, it's great. The characters are so charming, the gameplay is so good, the final boss is still really epic. So yeah, I still hold the game in high regard. It still is very good. I'm glad I played it again on Switch. Am I going to play Deltarune now? I should. I have it downloaded on Switch, chapters 1 and 2. But I don't know if I actually will. Yeah, I just enjoyed Undertale so much, man. Still is really good. What else? Anything? It's still one of the, like, it's one of the best games of all time. My thoughts on that have not changed. Yeah, I just really like it gameplay-wise. Everything about it's so good. I really should get around to playing Deltarune. I started Deltarune, and I never beat it. It's one of many games that, you know, I've always had in my one day I'll beat this list, but never have. Same thing with Doki Doki Literature Club, both of which I own on Switch. I own both Doki Doki Literature Club and Undertale on Switch. Or Deltarune. And, in Undertale, but, you know, that's... I just played through it, so yeah. So yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Okay, okay, let's get all of these. Ah, shit. I tried. We're close to meeting the quota. Okay, someone's got to take care of this. I'll be the one to do it. Ah, fuck. If it wasn't for all those little guys, I would have taken care of it. Because these... Like, honestly, having 3 of these guys is just too much. Like, you really... The worst enemies to deal with are the stingers and the flyfish. Megamons are also pretty bad. But you should focus on stingers and flyfish. They just couldn't do too much. Anything... Oh, so right, I played Undertale, really liked it. Another indie game that I've been meaning to get around to, and I've just been waiting for it to go on sale, and I finally saw it was on sale the other day, And I was like, yeah, you know what? I mean, honestly, it was cheap enough that I probably could have bought it not on sale. But uh, and it's another indie darling that falls into the category of short, but really good. That being Short Hike. A Short Hike. So I've heard people talk about this game for a while now. And I've been meaning to play it. Because, right, short but quality indie games, like Untitled Goose Game and Donut County, are some of my favorite indie games. I love games like Donut County and Goose Game. And Short Hike falls into that category. It's you play as this little bird going on a short hike in quotes. I mean, it takes like an hour. And you're climbing this mountain, right? There are even Celeste-esque mechanics in there. Right, golden feathers, multiple jumps, shit like that. But yeah, you're going on this short hike to climb this mountain. And that's it. That's your entire goal. You've got... And you're going up there just to get, like, self-service originally. And along the way, you go on all sorts of wacky adventures. You meet all sorts of fun people. You're collecting gold feathers and money and whatnot. And that's it. It's a very simple game. But it is very effective in what it does. And yeah, it took me an hour total to beat. And that was, I went and collected a bunch of the golden feathers. I went and collected a bunch of the golden feathers. I went and did some of the side quests. I tried to water all the plants. I didn't. I mean, I definitely missed some. But, I tried to do all the stuff like that. Ah, God. We're killing stuff, but we're not taking anything back. I'm right here. Okay, we just need one more. So yeah, it's just a simple, right, and like along the way you can collect like seashells and money, and you get like a pickaxe and a shovel and whatnot to like dig stuff. And yeah, you're just climbing to the top of the mountain. It's definitely like, right, it's basically, right, it's like an easier Celeste, honestly. Oh shit, someone disconnected. It is, yeah, it's basically an easier Celeste. But that's a good thing, let's be real here. Because I know plenty of people who cannot beat Celeste. I mean, admittedly, assist mode helps, but I still know plenty of people who cannot beat Celeste. So having, this... And they obviously invite comparison, right? Besides, I mean, even... like, the similar right? Even if you look past the climbing a mountain theme, there are even some mechanics that are similar and whatnot. And, there's a... yeah, and they both talk about, like, mental illness and whatnot. Because it's all built... Like, you're going to the top of the mountain originally because you're waiting for a phone call. And you're super stressed out about, right, that the phone call hasn't happened yet. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so I really, for like a game that I could literally play in like an hour, it was a very solid hour. Oh, we're all wiped out. Okay, that was it. I was like, wait, who's left? So yeah, as a short hour-long game, very solid hour, very fun game. Well, not even fun, it was just relaxing. And sometimes relaxing is fun. So I enjoyed it. I recommend, it's on sale right now on Switch. I think it's like $5. I think I paid $5 for it. Which I think the game's normally like $8, so it's not that much of a discount, but, I've been wanting to play it, so I did. Let's see. Anything else I got in WIBE for today? Outside of, the big shows. No, that's it. Those are the 3 games I played. And then we've got a few TV things. So let's start off with Rick and Morty. So the Rick and Morty continues its fucking incest quest. This episode starts off with them getting Panda Express. And they get fortune cookies. And on the fortune cookie, right? And they're all like the boring fortune cookie crap. Because, fortune cookies used to be like, oh, you'll get some sound business advice. Oh, you'll make a new friend. Nowadays, fortune cookies are just motivational quotes. Like, let's be real here. So, but Jerry gets a fortune cookie saying that he's going to fuck his mom. So, they go to investigate and learn that, no, that fortune cookies are actually magic. That it's alien poop that literally manipulates the unknown to make it known, and they straight up do manipulate people's fortunes, right? And people, they basically, at one point, people get superpowers because of them. Like, someone gets a fortune that he can, stick to walls, so of course now he can stick to walls. Some guy gets pyrokinesis. Some guy gets that he'll never die, so he gets shot by a bunch of bullets, but he doesn't die, so it counts. And it's a lot of shit like that, fortune cookie magic. But of course, Rick wants to take advantage of the fortune cookie magic, steal it for himself. But in the end, he fails because he stops Jerry from fucking his mom, which they just keep doing, like, it's a thing where it's between Dan Harmon just being a fucking weirdo, right? Like, that's half of it. The other half, who knows what the fuck else it is. Why, this is like the 5th incest episode in a row. Right? Like, not in a row, but this is the 5th incest episode in, like, a season. Because, you have the space episodes with Naruto, and the sperm, which is still the worst episode in the show. And then you've had Self-Cest and 2 incest episodes this season. So, yeah, it's been a lot. And, of course, they even did mention Naruto again. So, it's just been a lot, and the show just keeps doing it. I didn't watch it, but someone even I think it was LS Mark, make a video on, like, Rick and Morty's incest problem. So, yeah, it's definitely one of those things that everyone's noticed. It's definitely a Dan Harmon thing. At some point, it becomes self-referential, right, that everyone expects it, so they're just going to keep doing it. Oh my god. God, the sperm episode, man. Still one of the worst episodes. I talk about it on stream one day, like the night after I saw it in an Animal Crossing video. Trust me, it's... My reaction was very negative at the time, and trust me, that has not changed. Really? So yeah, I still, honestly, like, this wasn't the worst episode in the world, just because it didn't actually happen, right? Like, nothing actually happened. It was just more of like the Jerry fucking his mom was more of the inciting incident to get the plot rolling. They threaten it might happen at the very end, but it doesn't actually happen. But clearly something is up, right? Something's up behind the scenes. It's definitely Dan Harmon, but you never know for sure. But it's Dan Harmon, let's be real here. I fully expect it to also show up in the Community movie as well, if we're going this far with it. I never actually used the Tri-Slosher, but I do like that. Honestly, in a mode like this, I really do like the Tri-Slosher and buckets in general. Maybe not the Explosher, but the Tri-Slosher and the normal bucket, I actually do like in the Horde mode. They're pretty decent weapons. So yeah, that was that fucking episode, man. It's... Oh my god. So next up, let's talk about She-Hulk. So She-Hulk, episode 8, the penultimate. This is the Daredevil episode. People have been wanting that Daredevil episode, man. And it finally happened, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the crap out of this episode. I love Jennifer Walters getting together with Matt Murdock, right? Going back to her place, and them sleeping together. Very funny. Very funny. Very solid. Him doing the walk of shame afterwards. Great. So yeah, they have great chemistry. I love that we get a law case between them. Very simple, right? There's really not much involved in it. The law case between them is all very simple, and Daredevil schools are still very good. Still very fun. Glad it happened. So yeah, I enjoyed the law bit, right? And she's defending the frog guy, and who is against the designer, and then later on she has to save the designer, working together with Daredevil. I think the Daredevil costume looks great. The fight scene between She-Hulk and Daredevil is pretty good, right? They do a fight scene against each other, then they work together. The action scene with Daredevil is pretty good, right? Actually seeing Daredevil work and take out all the guys, and then just have She-Hulk bust in and take out the rest. Pretty solid all around. And then, yeah, then after, because they point out, like, and you can feel the chemistry between them. And then just, so having, right, him go back home with her, and they're like, well, we could hang out next time you're in town, or we could just, sleep together now. So they're like, oh, let's sleep together now. I'm gonna be stuck with the fucking stinker for this, aren't I? Fuck. Oh my god. Damn it! Oh my god. These they're both on top of each other, protecting each other. I don't even know where the last guy is. I think I got one of them off. God, this Kohozuna sucks. Oh my god, that was a disaster. Seriously, it was just like the fact that those two freaking guys were on top of each other, and we couldn't hit either of them. Oh, that sucked. And then they just took us out. And then they spawned way too many enemies, way too fast. Because, yeah, it literally started off with Kohozuna and, like, 3 guys. And we just couldn't get rid of all of them. God, I hope my battery's good enough to at least make it to a little bit. Yeah, it's impossible to beat Kohozuna. Even right, it's just impossible to beat Kohozuna on high enough levels. There's too many enemies. It's not even that he does too much damage. It's hard to get damage into him. He has it's not that he does too much damage, it's that he's had too much health. But yeah, so yeah, I thought the She-Hulk episode was very solid. All the Daredevil stuff was great. I'm sure some people are fucking complaining about it, that they made Daredevil like a slut or whatever. I loved it. I loved all the stuff with Jennifer Walters and Matt Murdock. Oh! Straight up software error. Holy crap. I haven't seen that. That's never happened before. Wow. But yeah, I loved all the stuff with She-Hulk and Jennifer Walters. I think it all worked out very well. I was thoroughly entertained by it. It was fun. It was funny. I liked it all. Then we actually get the big... So the Daredevil stuff is not the end of the episode. And even, like, Jen points out, like, that should be the end. What's going on here? Oh, it's the teaser for the next episode. We can just skip all this. Yeah, it's the teaser for the next. So she goes to the gala to win Lawyer of the Year, which of course they give Female Lawyer of the Year to all the nominees, which is, you know, counterproductive. It's that whole thing about, right, oh, if you're really gonna act like a woman, right, is getting the special award, then she should just get it, right? You shouldn't make a big deal out of it. Oh, let's just swap for chunks. Right? You shouldn't, right? It should be on the same parity as a man, and not like they're giving special treatment. So yeah, that's great point on that, right? By giving it all to them, and the lawyer from one of the previous episodes even does call it out, just straight up. So that's all good. But then Intelligentsia comes on, and is like, oh, do you want to know who the real She-Hulk is? Because previously we saw this guy who, I swear to God, is Cole Sprouse. Maybe Dylan. It's one of the Sprouse boys. I swear to God that the incel guy is one of the Sprouse boys. Right? The guy with the Wakandan spear. It looks just like them. I swear. But he comes in and he's like, oh, right, and we see him again at this banquet for Lawyer of the Year. And he doesn't dox her. But instead, he basically leaks her nudes. Yeah, the end of the episode is basically revenge porn. That's how it ends, right? That's the villain. Like, you know, they'd said they wanted the She-Hulk blood. And even Jennifer Walters makes a joke about, like, oh, is a Red Hulk gonna show up here? But no, it's revenge porn. Which is very fitting with everything gone on. Because remember, the main villain of the She-Hulk show is toxic fans. Like, that's the whole fucking point of the show. Kind of like in the same way that Black Widow was a metaphor for, like, sex trafficking and whatnot, this is a metaphor for toxic fandom. And, yeah, and toxic people in general, and, yeah, no, that's exactly what the whole point of this bit is. Is that, it's revenge porn, and she's got her. She's, right, her nudes have been leaked. Intelligentsia is basically, I don't know a revenge porn site. I can't even, there was that website where people would go to cheat on their wives, and I can't even remember the name of it. What was that site called? Was it Ashley Madison? Not, it wasn't Ashley Madison. Ashley Madison's... Was it Ashley Madison? Now that it might have been Ashley Madison. That doesn't sound right, but it might be it. But, right, it's like one of those things, right, where people go to post revenge porn. And that's basically what happens to her at the Lawyer Awards, is they post revenge porn of her. And it gets broadcast to all the audience. She hulks out. She goes to, you know, confront the guy. But the cops surround her. Let the guy escape, right? She doesn't even explain, like, hey, this is the guy who did it. Nope, the cops just let him get away. And that's it. That's where the episode ends. With her basically being arrested. So we'll see the fallout of this in the next episode, I'm sure. But yeah, but it's a good episode. All the Matt Murdock stuff is fantastic. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. All the Matt Murdock stuff worked great. I'm excited for... Again, we still don't know what Daredevil we're working with. Right? We don't know if this is more She-Hulk Daredevil. Or we don't know if this is more like the Netflix show. Or if this is more like the Ben Affleck. Or if this is somewheres in between. Yeah, we don't know at the moment. But whatever it is, between this and Spider-Man, Charlie Cox still does a fantastic job in the role. Great episode. All around, very solid. God, one Booyah Bomb can almost reshape this entire thing. But yeah, so I thoroughly enjoyed the She-Hulk. Very solid, very fun, very good. All around, it's a great episode. As a fan of these things, it's everything I've been hoping for. Right? I would have liked more Lawyer Daredevil, Lawyer Matt Murdock, you know? Because the court case was very simple. Like, I would have taken an entire just courtroom episode. No actual She-Hulk, just Jen Walters in the courtroom. Or She-Hulk in the courtroom. But, you know, they gotta get some superheroing in there, so yeah. God, the walk of shame bit was so funny. At least I thought it was. Especially seeing Daredevil do it, man. That's what makes it funny. Fucking Daredevil do it, the walk of shame, man. We also see her superhero outfit. You know, comic accurate. I like that she gets together. She works out her differences with the Drip Broker, whose name I don't remember, but I love Drip Broker so much. Great name, Drip Broker. God. So yeah, because right, he originally is pissed at her for suing him. The frog guy is an idiot, but he has got his minions or his goons, his goonions. They explain the difference. I know they also explain the difference in Harley Quinn. I really don't give a shit. So yeah, I guess that brings us to our last thing. So the other Marvel thing that got revealed that came out this week was Marvel did a special presentation, is what they called it, for their new show, for this new special. It's not a movie, even though it technically qualifies as a movie. It's only an hour long, and it's called Werewolf by Night. So yeah, it's this special Marvel presentation. The basic premise is that this man has died, and he's like this monster, or this head of a monster hunting clan, and he leaves behind the Bloodstone, which helps him hunt monsters. So now he's left this behind, and now he's gathered all these people in his death to and they're gonna hunt down a monster, and whoever does best at hunting gets the Bloodstone. And his daughter's also there, because she was supposed to get it, but then she kind of ran away, and there's definitely some, trauma there and whatnot. But, so they're hunting this monster, who is Man-Thing. Man-Thing is a character from Marvel Comics. I literally know nothing about him other than Weird World, which is a whole thing. But yeah, he's the monster they're hunting in this. His name's Ted. Because one of the guys is trying to save the Man-Thing, right? They're like friends, so he's trying to help them out, while, everyone else is hunting the Man-Thing. So it's those two, right? It's the girl and the guy working together, whose name, I do not remember the guy's name. The girl's name is Elsa. They're working together to save the monster, while all the other ones are trying to hunt them down. Then halfway through, they're able to break the monster out. But they realize that the guy is a werewolf. So they use the Elsa's mother-in-law uses the Bloodstone, not mother-in-law, stepmother, that's the word I was looking for. Uses the Bloodstone to start to turn the guy into a werewolf, to force the transformation. And then they all start hunting, and then they're supposed to hunt him, but instead he just kills them all. Right? He breaks out of the cage and just kills them all. And yeah, the entire thing is in black and white. They don't use a film grain on it, but they do put in some of those film effects. Like you can see when the reel if this was a film, you can see where the reel changes. Like there's the marks. So they don't use film grain, but they use it's kind of honestly, this does the Shovel Knight thing of where it's paying homage to the past while also doing new stuff, because, some of that older stuff is hard to look at. It's mostly, it's in black and white, but there is red, right? The Bloodstone is a sharp red color, and you can clearly see that. Also, at the very end, it goes in color. But as an homage to these classic movies, I think it does a mostly decent job. If I had any problem with it, I'm not one to complain about CGI, but if you're gonna do this homage to classic 1930s and 40s Universal horror films, you should at least use some practical effects, because the Man-Thing is almost entirely CGI. There might be some practical in there, but it felt entirely CGI. Same thing with the werewolf. There is some practical effect in there, but for the most part, the werewolf also felt CGI. And I wish they had just used more practical effects. If I had one complaint, it's that for once I actually wish they had used more practical effects in this. Because the Man-Thing just does not look real. I think, especially specifically in black and white, it looks better in color, but there's just something about seeing the Man-Thing in black and white Ted that just looks wrong in a way that's kind of hard to describe. But yeah, that's my one big problem. If you're going to replicate the style, you should at least replicate it, right? And so I would have used more practical effects. But set dressing-wise, the sets look great, right? They really capture that. There's a colorful cast of characters that have all been gathered here to, you know, hunt the Man-Thing and then later the werewolf after some of them die. I think it's all pretty good. As like a Marvel Halloween special sort of thing. I liked it. The director, Michael Giacchino, who mostly does music. Like, from what I remember, he's done a lot of the MCU's soundtrack. So, actually, him as a chance to direct, I don't know if it's his first time to direct, but this is his first time to direct in the MCU. I think he did a good job, and I would definitely be down to see more of his stuff. Right? Either it's this, or if he does something, right, if he does another one of these specials, or special presentations, or if he does something else. No, I think he did a good job here. I want to see a little bit more practical effect, man. I want the monster to look kind of, like, it looks goofy, but not in a goofy like the old werewolves, Frankensteins, and mummies. No, it looks weird in a different way. I think it looks fine in color. Honestly, I like, at the very end, when it all goes to color and you see what the Man-Thing looked like, I thought it looked fine. But yeah. So yeah, I liked Werewolf by Night. I do recommend, I mean, it's an hour long. I do recommend it. But it's really nothing, it's nothing like mind-blowing or anything. I enjoyed it, you know. I'm sure it'll rank somewhere in the middle of the MCU, my MCU ranking, because it deserves a spot on there. If I Am Groot got a spot on there, I think the only thing that I've never put on my MCU rankings are the shorts, right? The Hail to the King, the other one with not Jervis, was it it was something like that. The Shield Agent, and of course I didn't put Agents of Shield, Daredevil, any of that stuff on there. But yeah, of my MCU ranking, that's one of the few exceptions. I really should go back and do that. Or, no, actually, no. Werewolf by Night's going on. I count it. It is, it's technically long enough to be a feature film. It's all on Disney Plus, you know, so it was not hard to see. So I guess that takes us to the outro, so we're almost done. So we've been having, Splatoon-wise, we've been having a terrible night. I think we've won 4 games tonight. It has just not been my night. I mean, things were going a little bit better when we started using the Flingza, but I also don't know entirely how to use the Flingza. I should be using the missiles more. That's something I've been noticing, is that I know the missiles are powerful, and I should be using them more. I'm just not. Because the Flingza has such a long distance on its splat, I feel like I should be using that more as well, and I'm just not. I don't know, I have got some good moments. Like, I have got some, like, I got a 3-kill once. I don't think I got a 4-kill, but I got a 3-kill. Oh, God, I ran out of ink. So, yeah, it's, you know, it's been going whatever. I'm still enjoying Splatoon. Like, I haven't touched Fall Guys in weeks, because, you know, if I want to play a game, I'm gonna play Splatoon. I'm not playing it every day, but I'm still playing it, you know? I still really enjoy it. It is still the in-chat game for the moment, and probably will be. I meant to talk about this earlier when we talked about Pokémon, but they did announce that I don't know if we're getting Splatoween. Based on the fact that they didn't announce Splatoween, part of me wonders if we are getting Splatoween this year. But, so I don't know if we're getting Splatoween. Honestly, part of me doesn't think we are. But they did announce the November Splatfest, and it's the Splatfest everybody wanted. They're doing a Pokemon Splatfest. Yep, it's actually happening. Did they do a Pokemon Red versus Pokemon Blue Splatfest? I think in the first Splatoon they might have. for in 2017, that sounds like something that happened. But they announced that they're doing a Pokemon Splatfest, right? Because it makes sense, because the whole theme of this new Splatoon is multiple starters. So having multiple right, you have 3 or the whole thing about Splatoon 3 is that it's 3 choices. You have 3 starters in Pokemon. It just makes sense to do, right, 3 for 3 Splatfest. That's just it's a very logical thing. And yes, that's the theme of the new Splatfest. Is Fuecoco. It's technically grass, water, fire, but you can see Fuecoco, Sprigatito, and Quaxley in the background. So yeah, that's the theme of the Splatfest. It's November 11th, so it's like 10 days before the game comes out. I think it's a perfect idea for a Splatfest. It just makes sense. I'm glad they're doing it. Honestly, it's a very logical Splatfest. It just makes sense. I'm really happy. So, real quick with ranked modes, I'm disappointed that once you rank up... So, when you rank up to A, when you do the open mode, right? So, if you in B rank, it was, you lose in open, you lose 2 points. But you win in open, you get 8 points. Now that I've ranked up to A, I was like, you lose 3 points. So it would make sense if you win 10 points. No, you still only get 8 if you win in open. That's my disappointment. You should win in open, you should win more points if you're in a higher rank. Of course, if you want to actually rank up, you have to play series. You can't rank up if you don't play series. Right? Like, really, it's impossible. But I was just disappointed, right? If you're going to lose more points when you rank up, you should win more points as well. But nope. Nope. You win or lose, it's all the same. So, as we end off, let's check the shops and whatnot. You know how it goes. Oh, hey, look, there he is. Little buddy. I guess he can... I'd never noticed it until when we did the story mode. He can appear in random places. He can appear here. He can appear up there, like next to, what's-his-face? I guess he can appear in, like, these spots or something. I don't know. Little buddy can appear in certain places. But yeah, the next Splatfest. Grass, water, fire. I don't know which one if I'm just going on Sprigatito, Fuecoco, and Quaxley, I'm going Sprigatito. But if I'm thinking about the larger concept of grass, fire, water, I have no idea. I'm gonna buy this. Supposedly, thermal ink is very good with the bow. Right? Thermal ink helps out a lot with the bow. So that's definitely something I'm gonna think about. God, some of these upgrades are expensive. Oh, catalog leveled up. Oh, we got a mystery crate. God, could you imagine if this game had fucking loot boxes? I'd be so pissed. I mean, I know these are effectively loot boxes, but they don't give you anything you can't get in, like, the vending machine and whatnot. Oh, look at that. A Nintendo Power. My locker still hasn't changed. It looks exactly the same. Oh, look, there's Pearl. God, that's fucking expensive. You can... Again, it's so easy to go broke in this game. Because some of this stuff costs so much money. Oh yeah, we unlocked the Blobler. Yeah. So yeah, so we're gonna end off here. I'm gonna go, let's look at the art. But, spoilers. The one thing I will say, so on the main YouTube channel, I posted a video on the main YouTube channel for the first time in like 5 months. You can go find it. It's literally just a stream highlight. With the new Owl House episodes coming out next week, I was like, you know what? I should finally get on my Sans. I should really finally get my highlight reel of the first two reviews for the Owl House. Because we talked about them back in like June and July. And I was like, you know what? I really should just get those stream highlights done and get those up on YouTube. So earlier this morning, the stream highlight for Season 1, the Season 1 review went up. It went up earlier this morning. And next week, the Season 2 highlight will go up. Next week when the episode airs, that same morning, the episode highlights will go up. Don't know when the actual episode airs. Don't know when we'll actually get around to talking about it. But yeah, my Season 1 and Season 2 review will go up. I've already... Season 1's done. I've already got Season 2 all... Right, it's not ready to go. But I know where the clip... I know where the clip is. So if you want to go watch that right now, it was in episode 16. It's episode 16 of In Chat, is when we talked about Owl House Season 2. But I'm going to have the highlights up on YouTube next week. Just like, it's basically the same thing, just, I make it a little nicer. Definitely going back and watching it again, I realize how many things I forget to talk about, right? Like, but that's the nature of doing live content, and not having a script. Is there's so many things you're just like, oh yeah, I can't believe I didn't talk about, and see, I've already forgotten. Watching through the clip for Season 1, it was like, oh wow, I can't believe I didn't talk about this. And now here I am 24 hours later and I don't even remember. Oh, look, there he is. Little buddy. Little buddy. So yeah, so those are going up right now. Both those will go up, and of course we'll talk about the new episode when I inevitably see it, hopefully. The other thing is story mode, right? Over there, our little story mode. We will be back on Monday. So in 2 days, I will be back, because I've got the day off. So I will be back in 2 days, and we will be talking about, we will continue on the story. I hope we beat it. I don't know if we're going to be able to beat the super hard level, because it's supposedly super hard. But we're definitely going to put another few hours into the main campaign and the final levels and whatever the secret level is. Because yeah, so that'll happen when that happens. I've been enjoying the crap out of the story, man. It's well made. I'm curious to see what they're gonna do. Fucking Homestuck. I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with him. Where is that going? Yeah, fucking home. Honestly, there was a brief moment after I finished Undertale where I was like, should I read Homestuck? No. But should I? No. But should I? That's cute, the Pumpkaboo. Our little buddy. But yeah, so that's where we're gonna end off for tonight. Yeah. So yeah, all those videos will be coming up. That'll be coming up. The stream will be the story on Monday, and then whatever else happens after that on the main channel. I can already tell you, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna get this isn't gonna be one of those things where I'm saying I'm gonna do it and then I never actually do it. No, Season 2, I've already found the clip. I just need to edit it. And hopefully, I don't think it's gonna take that much of an editing. It's not gonna be that hard of an edit job, because I'm very lazy. So yeah. I don't love that. Whatever. So yeah, we'll be back next week. And of course, we'll always be back next Saturday for In Chat. That hasn't changed. This is the one thing I can stay consistent on at all times. Right? Everything else may falter, but at some point, once a week, there'll be an In Chat. Will it happen on Friday? Will it happen on Sunday? Who knows? But it'll always happen. Because, men would rather talk about fucking video games for 2 hours into a microphone with nobody listening rather than go to therapy. Pretty accurate. So with that, I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Until next time, Peace.